In this tutorial, I just want to give you a few different options on how to deal with these images in these squares and the text that should accompany them. Okay, so let's just take a look. Let's go. I'm going to go ahead and pretend I'm working on this section here, and I'm going to write the word location on top. And let's highlight it and make this black. And the font was supposed to be bigger to match the others. I'm not sure what size it was, but we'll go with 48. Okay, and okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get an image that works for me for one of the locations. Maybe I'll type in Radiator Springs, because I know that's a place that the movie took place in. And I'm just gonna go ahead and let's go ahead and just take this one right here. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this image and I'm gonna paste it in here. And let me first click on this white box so it actually selects this layer. Then I'm gonna go edit paste, and there's my image. So let's move it. And I have some options. Let's just go ahead and say I really like that rectangle shape. And so I'm going to enlarge this to cover it. Command T, and it's going to extend past the edges, but that's okay. And what I'm going to do is I am going to just, there's a lot of different ways I could do this. I could temporarily turn this off. Hit this eyeball just so it's invisible. Look, you could turn it off and on. And I'm going to select the size of the white box, right? And then I'm going to turn this back on. Now, if I push delete, I deleted the inside, right? So Command Z. Let's delete outside of that selected area. So I'm going to go ahead and hit select inverse. So if you notice there, that's a shift Command I would select the inverse. Now when I push delete, I deleted outside of that box. Great. Now let's deselect. And so I have some options. I could just write, if my image is dark enough, I could just maybe put some white text on top of it, and you'll be able to see it maybe. Okay, maybe the text needs to turn the drop shadow back on, and you could edit the drop shadow so the distance isn't quite so far, or the drop shadow isn't so big. And then if you make the distance closer, you could play with these things and make it look a little better. If you put an outline, a stroke on the text, and you change it from inside to outside, that might help do the trick as well. Okay, but let me give you one last way of looking at this. You could click on this image and you could see I have the image selected. There's a few different tricks. You could change, since I have a white box behind it, what if I changed the opacity of the image down and it made it lighter? Maybe 50 is too much, you can't even tell what's the image anymore. Maybe you just find just the right balance, 75%, so you can kind of see a good image. And maybe adjust the text a little bit so you can kind of see the Radiator Springs behind the text, and and play around with the text color. Maybe there's a different color that you want to use, and I'm just going to show you that that's what the shape looked like, or the image looked like now. And so I'm going to put it back. Okay, so those are some tricks. This is like full solid color here. And by the way, when you crop images, you don't worry about cutting some of the sides off. A lot of people try to fit it exactly into the shape, and they end up, squishing. By the way, if your image is below the layer you want, you can simply drag it above like that. And let's just say I wanted it to fit in there, and you went Command T and you held Shift and changed the shape of it. Then you start squishing the images. You don't want to do that. Okay? You could just go ahead and cut some of the image off if you need it to be. You don't have to have every single character in there if you wanted to, right? Okay, so go ahead and have fun playing around with your images, and I look forward to seeing what you do come up with. Okay, go ahead and have fun.